It's been a while. Let me roll a d4. I've got Ted. Ted, what happened last time?
Oh, wow.
I know, right?
I know, right? That's a curveball. Well, I can tell you where things left off, and then I will do a flashback. We are all feasting in a banquet room, just ourselves, discussing what to do with respect to allying ourselves with these Lords of Chaos. Each of us is gorging ourselves on our whatever our favorite meal happens to be, almost like a pre-bribe from the Lords of Chaos. And everyone's gone around the table a couple of times and voiced their opinions, varying from, true neutrality, let's see what happens, to the more lawful edges of, the two clerics will make no promises to these Lords of Chaos. And I think a couple of our companions are edging a little more on the chaotic side, namely, let's see what we can get out of them, and no promises. But my recollection is that then the flashback would be flashing back. We were on the I think it's a long ship, if I'm not mistaken, but at least it's some type of a celestial vessel. And I may be wrong about that. It actually had sails, but nonetheless, we found ourselves sort of drifting in some type of cosmic space, various lights blinking that were likely planets. We were low on food, and so we fought a some type of octopus, space octopus, something along those lines, carving off large steaks of it later, which we happen to be chewing now as we're talking. We used our wisdom and various experiences to try to figure out how to navigate, and then also then what the helm meant, and we've essentially landed then in front of a bunch of Chaos Lords who ran the gambit of what it meant to be chaotic, because they're all different, but there's definitely a through line, namely they want us to do something, to obtain something, to achieve something in a more lawful realm. Likely they're restricted from either going there, or they just see us as pawns. Probably both, and probably a bunch of other things. I think that's pretty much at least what I remember.
Yeah. Good afternoon.
Hey, Eugene. Yeah, so they want you to find what they call they call it the yoke. The yokeless egg. The yokeless egg. And this kind of happened off screen, so I'm going to mention it. Just scanning over it here. A few days later, you all did a kind of a play-by-post role-playing here, which was kind of cool, where you all are talking and chatting, and the impression I get overall, everyone kind of mentions their concerns with work. How can you even talk to beings of this kind that are deception made manifest? How can you make a deal with them? Even people that are leaning toward chaos. Other people mention, like, maybe we can try to work with them, but ultimately try to oppose them on the sake of either independence, freedom, or in the case of two of you, your commitment toward the force of law itself. But there are all these different kind of, people mention ideas and stuff and options, and as you're dining. And then ultimately what I see here in the end is someone mentions, well, Frack says this, whether anyone agrees. Basically, Frack is like, whatever we do, we choose one speaker, then we shall act as one. And keep that in mind with what's about to happen. And that's where we're at right now.
Yeah, Ed Rufus likes that suggestion. He's and I forget now, Ian, your cleric's name?
Ulias.
Yes, Ulias. He will throw a vote. If we're going to vote, I'll vote for Ulias. I trust Ulias to be slightly more silver-tongued, and Edrufus is a humble Wainwright, so he is less inclined to sort of make up grand speeches. So if we're voting, he'll vote for the other cleric, the lawful cleric.
All right, so you guys want to hold a vote?
Seems
fair.
Orderly.
Before we can do that,
Seems
Ulias, thank you for your confidence, but I will not make any deals with these entities. My allegiance is what's the name of the deity?
Justicia.
Justicia. My allegiance is to Justicia, and by extension of her trustworthiness to this group. So,
yeah, well, I mean, that's part of the reason why Rufus is voting for you is that he knows that you're not going to screw us over.
And I may have misunderstood. I thought that the plan was it looks like even though they say there's an option, we're going to agree to this, but then in the agreement we're going to try to use it to our advantage or get away or deceive them or something.
Yeah, out of character. Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to you know what I mean, subvert them. Subvert the adventure.
You can also
but in character. But no, I understand. But I'm saying in character, it's pretty much what Ian just said, which is no promises, not going to make a commitment. And maybe that's why you don't want either of these lawful clerics being the negotiators. But I'm kind of simplifying it and saying, hey, there's 2 votes for one, and then it's up to everybody else to maybe throw their votes around if they choose to. All right, back in character.
All right. Okay. What about so you say that and then Ulias, he says that to the group. So then, what about what does Hans and Frake and Patrick say?
Why
Hans
would you?
is...
Sorry.
I'll say go ahead.
No, go ahead. You started first.
Hans isn't so sure. We want to put on such a solid kind of face to these Chaos Lords. I mean, your uprightness is without question. We trust you on that. However, I just wonder if you have the amount of tact needed to deal with these deities. I would suggest that your faith, which does you strong in these dark times, might cause you to act more aggressively than we should in the court of these Chaos Lords. So I would suggest maybe someone else.
Yeah, Bodrick is gonna... Well, I agree. We should choose someone that would be... more, how should I say... have more freedom to speak.
Oh, you mean someone who will lie?
Not, well...
Very.
lie.
Rufus is coming off very judgy right now.
Sure, why not?
You paladins did tell us that you will not speak a lie, so... And in a court of chaos, I think that little lying has to be done.
Like
Well,
any... Oh, go ahead.
The thing is that lie would be expected from us, especially when you're a Chaos Lord. They gonna be... Why? Well, if they judge other people by how they act, they surely expect a lie from you.
It's awesome to sit here, Patrick, who's this big dude, and he's like, bigger is always better, and now he's like, Chaos Lords, they always lie, and then, but can I lie to who lies? But if I tell the truth, but they lie, and poor Patrick is about to explode.
Patrick is becoming a philosopher.
Yeah. I'm getting this.
I
This
just
guy's
suggest-
got the Patrick vibes right here.
I just suggest that it's in this court, we aim towards more of a creative interpretation of facts on the ground as far as dealing with these chaos swords. I just don't think we should put up such an aggressive front.
All right. So it sounds like the 3 non-cleric type characters carry the vote, but who shall it be?
For Hans. Breaks his hands up and says he votes for Hans.
All right. What about Patrick and Hans?
Why not? Why not Hans? I don't know. If you want me, I can tell them just what they want to hear if you vote for me. That's about it. We're gonna do it. And that's it. What else should we say to them? No? Good luck to that.
I have no objection in this case to speaking the will of the party to these chaos swords and doing the best we can to get out of here intact.
While you're dining, I know one person wanted calamari, and then there are other space octopus, yes, space calamari. But then also other foods that each of you love are all here, you know. And while you're dining, you notice that a bedraggled and abused servant enters the room and is removing meals and providing bowls and ewers of water and other oblations. And she brushes against Ed Rufus and says, "Servant of law, meet me outside that door when all have gone asleep." And she points to one of the doors, because you are in this, like, there's this set table and then there's doors leading into bedchambers.
And Rufus will, he'll sort of nod but not like, make a big show about it.
Yeah. And then she just keeps like gathering things and stuff and leaves. And then eventually, you don't have no sense of time here. But you are tired and you are well fed. And so, you have each of you your own room that you can pick from, a bedchamber.
Well, and Rufus will make a show of, "Oh, I'm so tired," and yawning and whatnot, and he'll get up from the table and snag a bit of one last bit of space octopus in case he gets hungry in the middle of the night. He'll bid all of his his allies good dreams, and may Aristomus bless you with truthful dreams and good insights into the next day. And he'll kind of lumber into his room and close the door behind him.
You find a room that's very well appointed and furnished, with a very comfortable bed and trunk that you can put your effects in. What's everyone else do?
Hans is gonna pour himself. He said that it was like any food that we can think of or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna pour himself a glass of hot mulled wine and also bid everyone else to do. And I'm gonna head off and get some rest for next day as well. He's gonna go pick a room.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess Patrick is gonna probably, after eating all the food, he wants some tea, but not nice cup of tea, and he's gonna take the tea and maybe like some sweets, like maybe a cinnamon roll or something like that, and I'm gonna go rest.
This guy. Hope he's got a good dentist.
What about
Well,
Ilias will also
Julius, yeah.
help himself to some after dinner refreshment and then head into his room.
All right, and then Frake.
Frank is just gonna just keep eating his space octopus. Say, light bellies. Going to sleep so soon when we haven't ate anything else for days? Fine. I'll have this buffet to myself. And he'll just keep eating.
You keep eating for, you're not sure how long, but for a long time, and the food never stops coming. The same servant comes in and out and keeps bringing food and stuff. And you find yourself alone. And basically, could eat until you explode if you wanted.
Pretty chaotic. And Rufus his patience will wear thin. Like he keeps, he'll crack the door and sort of look. What is this game?
The halfling is still out
How's this guy eating all this? He's like, I'm like three times the size of him. I can't, he's got like he's got a false leg or something. Then he'll again pantomime his way of like, oh, I've got to find the washroom or whatever, But he basically will try to make his way to the door that the servant, the draggled servant indicated, and walk out of it. He's not being like stealthy because he knows he can't. It's not feasible, and it's not in his nature anyway. So it's up to Frack if he's going to follow him or not, or who knows. I don't know. But he's not looking backwards. He's not like trying to fool him or anything.
Okay, so you're gonna try to go over there and wait by the door.
Yeah, like I have to find the bathroom basically.
Yeah. You find the door is locked. However, the door that she selected is also the door that I cannot pronounce that name. Julius, like Euless, but then like Lius also in the middle. Is that right?
Uallis. I keep getting it wrong myself.
Ellis.
Uallas.
U-L.
Uallas.
Uellis. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I keep picking names that I can't pronounce and then getting them wrong
I
repeatedly.
know, right? But they're fantasy names. Like that's the
Exactly.
yeah, you should have gone for Patrick. It's much easier.
Or just Fred, right?
Yeah.
Just a good old
Bob the Barbarian.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, Bob's your uncle too, but we'll leave it there.
Gosh, I'm just trying to bring up a gosh darn character sheet I can read. Let me try this. Okay, so anyways, you find that that door to be locked, and the halfling Frake, you're still there eating, and you see Ed Rufus like trying to open a locked door, like, and he says he's going to the bathroom. Let me see here.
Drake's gonna say, well, trying to drop a dragon and the door's locked? Good luck to you. I'm gonna head to bed after all this.
All right, you head to bed, and let me see here. I need. Here we go. Just give me a. Oh God, I just need a character sheet, man. Dungeon Crawl Classics, character sheet. Finally, there we go. Okay. So Frake goes to bed and picks one of the remaining doors that's open. Frake, when you go inside, you also see a room that is really cozy, and the bed is halfling sized. So after Frake goes in the room, Ed Rufus, after you're standing there and Frake leaves, then the servant comes back in and as she's like cleaning stuff up and everything, she's barefoot. She's got like scraggly clothes on and stuff. She has marks on her and looks kind of beat up. But she says, servant of law. And she comes over and stops cleaning stuff up. She's like, we don't have much time. And she, without knocking or signaling or anything, like, opens up the door that was just locked for you.
Right.
And opens up the door, and Euelis, you are on the other side in a room that's very nice, and you see Edrufus and this woman who, in every respect, basically looks like a chaos slave. Like she's a human woman, but she's been beat up and wearing crappy clothes and is barefoot. And she motions Ed Rufus to come in. She closes the door and she says, we must speak. We don't have much time.
Who are you? You know, he'll say, and what can we do to help you?
I am Lexalia. I am an agent of the forces of law. I was a spy that was placed here eons ago, and I have suffered as a slave of chaos here at the court to await your arrival. And I was put here for this moment, for when someone would try to take the yolkless egg.
Mm-hmm. And Rufus will look to Aeolus and sort of crook an eyebrow and just sort of, what do you make of this?
Is Euelis there with him? Or I just
Yeah,
saw it.
your room is locked, but she let
okay.
me into your room.
I misunderstood
I think
that.
because we're the two more lawfully inclined.
Okay. That seems. So he says so. That seems prudent, but what is the reason you've been placed here? To offer us aid? To discourage us from pursuing this quest?
And tell us, what is the import of the yolkless egg?
Long ago, before the gods of law and chaos warred, the old ones existed in a miasma of ungods and uncreation. But the old gods created order and placed the gods of law in charge of the universe. But we had adversaries, and that is the truth that is unwritten. But there are these motes of that primordial uncreation that are still left, and the yolkless egg is one of them. It was entrusted with the gods of law at the beginning of time, and now the gods of chaos are rising, and they hope to send you to steal the egg.
To Eulius's point, what aid can you give us other than this information?
I can offer you no aid and no reward, save that you will oppose beings of the utmost evil that are at the cause of everything that is wrong in existence.
Are you one of the gods of order and law, or are you merely one of their servants?
I am just a slave.
Kind of don't think that's true, but just sort of okay.
When I was placed here long ago, I was given this to watch for when this day would come. Across eons, I've been under the lash of Chaos Lords. I think that you should try to retrieve the egg, as they ask. But when you have it, trust no one, and do not give it to them. But when you return to the court, give it instead to me. I cannot warn the scions of law of this impending theft. And if you do not do it, someone else will. The scions, they've grown complacent over the eons. They've become forgetful. The egg, it's in a place called the Cataphract. It consists of several challenges that test the soul and the spirit of those that would take the egg. If you take the egg, but do not give it to the Lords of Chaos, then I believe that the Scions of Law will awaken from their slumber and become vigilant guards once more across the multiverse.
So our theft of the egg, you think will awaken these guardians? Is that the idea?
Yes. In either way, I believe that the Lords of Chaos will succeed. They will find someone that can take the egg. But keep this in mind. The Cataphract, its challenges, yield themselves to those of pure spirit. So long as you can keep lawful virtue in mind and heart, you should be able to get the egg.
Once we bring this egg here to you, what will you do with it?
I will disappear, in the hopes that the Scions will find me in their new vigilance. Having completed the arrangement and the mission that I was sent here for eons ago.
Olyas is going to pull from his neck like a wooden, like a carved wooden sword that he's using as his holy symbol, and present it to this slave girl, and begin a chant, which is the prayer to detect evil.
Yeah.
He's just trying to get a sense of her real motivation. Like, do her motivations line up with what she's saying? Detect evil will essentially just give me an idea of whether she's chaotic or not.
Yeah.
But if I can roll that into any other kind of sense motive kind of thing.
Sure. She accepts this and knows what you're doing, and you find a heart full of virtue that has been tormented for a long time trying to hang on.
So, do I need to roll for that still?
No, because she willingly submits to it.
Okay.
I assume, Aeolus, do you kind of share now that you trust her a little bit more with me?
Yeah, so I will say to her, thank you for your trust in me. I can see now with the guidance of Justicia that you are true to your word.
Then I say to her, when we return, the Lords of Chaos will be obviously vying. I would expect they'll probably be competing with one another to get the Oglaz egg first. I don't see them as working together. My fear is this: when we return, one of them may attempt to masquerade as you. We should have a word or a phrase that we can set now, so that we know that it really is you, as opposed to one of these lords who can probably conjure all kinds of, as I say, a masquerade or a disguise. What should we agree upon as kind of a countersign?
I will give you something more than that, because this is my entire purpose. It occurs to me now that there is one way that I can help you. If you do this, I will not lie to you. I have no powers to offer you, no riches. I cannot even guarantee that the Scions of Law will awaken and execute their charge. I can only hope and have faith. However, the magic that has bound me here as an agent of law for so long allows me to leave with the egg. And I believe that whoever hands me the egg, I could take with me and bring you back out so that you can escape the Court of Chaos, at least, and return to wherever you were before you were captured. As to a code, I'll give you this instead. And she takes her hand and opens her mouth and and she reaches into her mouth and this light pours out of her mouth out into there, and she pulls something out that's bright, and she holds something up, and she's like, "This is my true name that is unspoken, and with it you have power over me."
Okay. I'll look to Julius. Is there someplace we can bind this or contain it?
I'm unsure of that. I've never been given such a powerful gift, and I'm unsure where we could safely keep this.
Perhaps maybe you could bind it to your holy symbol. I mean, I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas here. And Rufus is not technically sound in his clerical studies. I mean, this is very hedgerow kind of magic for him.
Lixalia points to her mouth, motioning that you need to devour it.
Okay.
Will you want to devour it, Julius, or do you want Edwardus to do it? And he's fine either way.
Has she given it obviously given it to either one of us?
No, she's just holding it out.
Okay. Yeah, I guess Elias will reach out, say a little prayer, and devour the light, the voice, the name. I'll get the word in a minute.
You devour this thing.
Insert object here. Yeah, right.
The true name of Lixalia. And nothing seems to happen as you swallow it. Your mouth and throat burns in the same way as if it were exposed to the heat of intense light, like a laser or something that's intensely bright. But then you don't notice anything after you've devoured it. And she says, "With that, I'm now at your command. And when you return and provide me the egg, I will have suffered these bonds through to the end of my charge, and we can depart this court together. But the truth is, the Lords of Chaos will never stop in pursuing you. They will be your enemy, and you'll be have fully surrendered yourself to the mission of law for all of eternity. And there's no way back."
I have already made a choice to serve Justicia, renouncing the Lords of Chaos and calling them my enemy.
And as have I.
Another
Yeah,
step
no, and
in that
and Rufus will be
direction on
like,
the journey of law and goodness.
like Julius said, I'm all in. Let's do this.
So be it. Tomorrow you will be summoned by the Lords of Chaos. Get his weird name. The Tatterdemillion will come and summon you when the time comes. Virtue, good strength to you, champions. And she bows to you and she leaves.
Yeah, and Rufus doesn't have much else to say to Julius. He'll just, the less we say, the better. I don't mean to sow unity amongst our comrades, but some of them may not understand this commitment. Unless you feel otherwise, I think
Do not
we
believe
should
they will understand it.
share it when we think the time is right. Yeah. Okay, and then he'll say, good rest, and I'll see you tomorrow. And I guess we just we'll just have to go with the flow, basically. Ed Rufus will leave the room, close the door, go to his own room, and basically just hit the rack and try to fall asleep.
All right. Meanwhile, in Hans's room, Hans, you receive a vision. of a being. And it appears as if like space is tore open like a fleshy wound, and you hear a ripping sound as chicken-like claws pull it open, and an eye emerges out of it, and then like it takes the claw and it lands like this and onto its like clawed feet, and towering up over the room, but a different size than it was in the court. But it looms down over you, and it says, Hans.
What does it say? I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
It says your name, Hans.
Like Hans trying to put on a brave face, but not feeling particularly brave at heart. He's like, yes, that's me, oh Chaos Lord.
You have captured the attention of the Lords of Chaos and many other powerful things. It is an uncomfortable place to be for someone of so few years. You will need power. Okay. You will need help to survive, to have any measure of sanity left when it is all done. Remember, and like the chicken claw, like shows you like your the friend that fell in the well, and that their soul was just like infinitely being torn at and mutated, and there were growing things and mutating endlessly. The fates that can await a mortal.
Yes, I'm particularly keen on avoiding those fates. What do you propose to alleviate myself of this uncomfortable position, as you put it, oh Chaos Lord?
Yeah, and that's the sense, is like, hey, if this could happen to you, you know, you've seen the well of eternity where someone's being infinitely mutated. You saw the chasm of chaos where endless tormented souls were pouring up out of it. And then you descended into the court of chaos where even in the court, there's this like buffeting wind of tormented souls across all of eternity. The fate that awaits all mortal kind at the end of everything. And then like he's showing you this, and it's just like going into your eyes and stuff with the chicken claw. And then he closes the chicken claw and he puts it back down, and he says, secrets. Secrets are how you can evade this fate. Secrets are power. Secrets allow you to rise above the fate of mortals. Secrets I have. And then the eye like blinks like sideways.
Okay, go on. I secret in the right hands is a powerful tool. I definitely agree. Go on, please. You have my attention.
He takes the other chicken claw and opens it, and you see yourself in like very nice. How do I put this? Like probably still in things like leathers and still suited as an adventurer, but an adventurer who is a professional and confident and in control. And you see yourself able to do things, walking in places of darkness, finding powerful treasure and items that can bend reality. And as you do this, you can see yourself looking in the darkness as if it were daylight, walking around in dark places, and darkness never, you're able to see completely true and even secret places, like secret doors and ciphers in ancient tombs, and you just wave them away as if they were plainly written to you. As it seems like this potential future self is able to just see through darkness and secrets as if they're not there. And you see this future self in some kind of luxurious headquarters from whence you can launch these operations to get magical, powerful things and artifacts and walk into tombs as if it's nothing. You see secret and forbidden tomes that are open. Some of them having scripts that hurt your eyes and begin to make you nauseous as you catch just a glimpse of some of their symbols. Things that mortal eyes usually cannot bear are open all around you. And you see orbs that allow you to scry. And you see this potential future self able to see every potential outcome in advance. Able to tell if something would imperil you and avoid it entirely. And you see this future thief, the reputation of a ghost or demigod, able to appear at his own will and go into secret places and take secret things with impunity.
Hans looks on at this vision that the Chaos Lord is presenting to him, finding himself very intrigued indeed.
And then the claw closes, and you're back in your room, a barely more than a peasant that has somehow tumbled across space and time into the hands of gods. I want the yolkless egg. Clearly you can see now that only I can use it to its true potential. And you would benefit well from my patronage. And know this, Hans. Your partners plan to betray you. And if you do not take this path and give me the egg instead of the rest of the court, they will kill you anyway. So your fate awaits. Doom or partnership and success.
I am open to a deal. I think we can work something out.
Your doom awaits you if you feel that you cannot. And then like it folds up like the legs and the chicken claws, and then like this Terran reality, it pushes itself back in like backwards, and then pulls the Terran reality, and the chicken claws disappear, and you're in a room by yourself.
Hans is gonna down the rest of his wine and think hard.
All right. Meanwhile, let's see.
Meanwhile, at Kuhn and Friends.
But by the way, I want to mention something. I decided that I want to be neutral. I don't want to be chaos. I'm gonna be originally neutral. That's gonna fit my character more.
Oh.
Yeah.
I may have missed something. This is important. Did you indicate that in the course of you chatting at dinner? I may have missed that. That's very important. Like, did you kind of say that, like that we shouldn't necessarily?
No, I didn't.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I didn't say that I was aligning with someone or something like that. So it was like there was no particular like where I stand. I didn't say anything.
Okay, you did say some things. What was? This is important. Let's see. You said, Patrick finishes his meal and brushes his mouth with a hand and looks at everyone in the room. I am not inclined to be a slave to anyone, even a god. I definitely am not willing to be a prisoner. And I like how you're thinking, but I have a question. How do you even lie to the gods of chaos? And you talk about lying to them for a minute, and then you say, if you think your gods will help you to trick them, I'm for it, because as I said, I'm not willing to be a slave or a prisoner.
So that's perfectly fits for a neutral character, isn't it?
Okay. All right. That part's important. For what happens next. because almost something else happened. Okay, so instead, someone knocks on the door.
Boom.
What'd you say?
Door of who my door?
Yes, your door. Someone knocks on your door.
Oh,
You're in this
right.
bedroom, and then you hear a knock at the door.
I'm gonna put my tea. I'm gonna stand up. Who is it?
Hello. I wish to speak to a Mr. Patrick. I'm sorry to
Patrick.
bother you this evening.
Yeah, sure, no problem. I was just drinking my tea and eating my cinnamon roll. Don't worry about that. I was just relaxing on my bed. And I'm gonna open the door and see who's there.
Okay. You see someone at the door in a... Patrick wouldn't understand what this is, but out of character, he's wearing a suit. But the suit, what you see this person wearing is this is hard to explain. I'm going to try. Imagine the suit is like flesh, like it offers no tone or color or anything, but it is made of fabric.
Right. Okay.
And the tie is, and the shirt is, and the what do you call the thing that you put in a pocket? The handkerchief. Is,
handkerchief. Yeah.
Yeah. The whole suit is like flesh, but then his skin looks like the pattern of a suit. And it's a mixture of bright, almost as if, like if he were some kind of, I don't know, like a 1970s kind of like suit, like a leisure suit with like bright colors and offset with dark tones. And it's a patchwork of like plaid and coloration on his skin. And he answers the door, or when you answer the door, that's what he looks like, and he smiles. He says, "Mr. Patrick."
Yes. That's me. Yes. Who are you? What do you want?
May I enter? I would like to discuss a business arrangement with you.
Sure. Come in.
Thank you so
yes,
much. Even though the floor is like onyx, like this dark obsidian color, he like tromps his feet anyway, as if he were entering someone's house. And then he steps into your room, and he says, "My name is Truscuro," and he reaches out his hand to shake your hand.
Well, nice to meet you. And why are you here?
I am a diplomatic envoy to the Court of Chaos. I don't represent Chaos myself. And I noticed in the court today your audience with the Lords of Chaos and your friends, and I wanted to make an offer to you.
Right. Yes. Of course. So, what would be the offer then?
I represent. Well, it's hard to say because it's not like how the Lords of Chaos or law are. In a sense, I represent no one. In a sense, I represent myself, and in another sense, everyone, all at once. I am a representative of the multiverse, of balance.
Okay. Well, yes. And what is your proposal then?
I would like you to deliver the egg to me.
And that's understandable. That's of course if we're gonna able to get it. But why you? What can you offer to me?
Well, Mr. Patrick, those are two separate questions, you see. So why don't I start with the first question, that is, why you should give me the egg. It's related to the second question. The reason you should give me the egg is that if you give the egg to the agents of chaos, the Lords of Chaos in the multiverse, Or, as I've already seen, if it's given to the agents of law, which apparently there are some here acting as double agents within the court, it will tear the multiverse apart and possibly destroy all of reality.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's actually makes sense. Um, yeah, well, yes, understand that. That's not very nice thing to know actually, and well,
I don't think it's
and
very nice at all. Yes, I rather like reality.
naturally, yes.
I'm glad you
And
agreed.
yep.
The second question you asked is what I can offer you, which in truth is in also in one respect nothing at all, and in another respect everything all at once. Because if you don't give me the egg, you face the loss of everything. And in truth, if you give the egg to either law or chaos, you will become enslaved to those powers.
That's true actually. Yeah, that's why I have those problems with those people.
Exactly.
You know, they usually yeah,
And he leans back and
they
like, but he crosses his leg across his knee with his, and lounges in your room. Yeah.
you have to be very nice to everyone, or you have to be an asshole to everyone. Why you have to be always a nice or an asshole to everyone? You know, why can't you be like both?
Exactly.
Sometimes you can be nice.
It's more nuanced, really.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes. Well, so you can see that while I don't have any overt rewards, you could also see that the rewards offered by these lords of law and chaos are sort of a trick giving you something you already own. Because as a mortal being in all of reality, you have access to all of reality at once. And then to have it taken from you and then give a small portion back, that's sort of how these authorities work. You give them, they take from you and they give you a little bit back, and then they act as if that were a gift of some kind.
That's actually, you make a lot of sense, right? But how about extra something about for me? You know, it just something has to benefit with me. I mean, like at least a little bit, something.
Well,
I don't know, maybe, maybe you know, like I don't know, at
Well,
least something.
Ultimate power. No big deal.
I'm very sorry, Mr. Patrick, but I think perhaps you're not understanding me. In one respect, I offer you nothing and can't offer you anything, and I have nothing to give you. But on the other hand, everything that you're being offered is only an illusion. You already have everything and are connected to everything, and have the potential to actually manifest anything in time. So, the truth is that if you don't take my offer, I'm concerned for you. Concerned for your, of course, all of reality, which is at stake, but the various components of reality, of which you're a small component, but one I like. And the truth is this, that if you take my offer, you'll be free. You'll be an independent agent and free from law and chaos. On the run from chaos and law, but you will be anyway, or you can choose to be their slave.
Oh, I guess, like, you know what? I would want to tell you one thing. You're a good salesman. Basically, you want to sell me nothing. I mean, I don't have anything right now, and everything, what depends I can get, is owed to my strength, you know? And it just, you telling me that it would stay like that.
That's basically true. I think it's true from a certain point of view. But on the other hand, also, I, in some ways, have also taken something from you. Because, well, you had the illusion before that you could gain something. And I've robbed you of that illusion. So I've come here, I've taken something from you, given you nothing, but given you access to everything.
Well, I never had actual illusion. I never believed those gays lords. Yeah. I just wanted to ditch them actually, and make sure that uh, I might earn something like by myself. I don't know. Maybe take the deck for myself, and then I don't know, sell it to the highest bidder or something like that.
There are
Anyway.
plenty of people that would be interested in that. That would rend all of reality apart, but you could gain some material gain, a portion of reality in the meantime, as it burned. But I hope you'll keep my offer in mind. I do have several other appointments today, Mr. Patrick. And he raises up to his feet and offers his hand. He's like, but I hope you'll consider my offer.
Well, how am I to give you that egg? If I decide to do that?
When you arrive back at the court after you've obtained the egg, just seek me out. I'll be around. And as soon as you have the egg, I will offer you one thing of a kind. By use of the egg itself, I can get you out of the court.
Well, that's interesting. Sure. I'm thinking I'm inclined to agree with you. You speak in my own terms,
Very well. It was nice to meet you, Mr. Patrick. And he shakes your hand and he walks out.
Nice to meet you.
Now I have one question before I go on. Does Patrick have any? Yes, the thoughts of Patrick. Yes. What does Patrick think about this arrangement?
Actually, like he kind of thinking about it actually, because he thinking maybe he should just try to benefit by himself, but then again that guy speaks reasonably, but he just doesn't like that everything he's gonna go to a miles to achieve that egg, and then he's gonna be like he was before. He's not gonna gain anything, that one. But then when he thinks that everything could end, and he's gonna get his freedom as well. So that's kind of and get away from all that sticky situation. That's kind of he's more inclined to agree to that offer.
Yeah, it basically separates you from the egg and everything that it's trying to do, and doesn't give it to anyone. But is he considering? I'm looking into his thoughts and feelings. Is part of him considering trying to take the egg or try to gain something from this?
He's considering. But he's
Right.
more actually. He's thinking that he's more inclined to agree. After all, because that could even it seems like the deck is too important, and it's gonna be actually maybe too much trouble for him. So yeah.
So I think as you turn back, you've got your tea, and so he leaves through the door and everything, and then you turn around, and instead of seeing your room, you see a chasm of flames and magma as a world is being rent and destroyed. And there are these huge dragon-like monsters that are rampaging across this ruined landscape, tearing people apart and murdering all kinds of humans. And you see amidst this a giant Titan 3-armed humanoid in a gnarly helm, blood dripping from its horns and screaming faces, yelling in agony from a cape. And he throws out his 3 arms and has some huge like an axe, and he slams it down. He's laughing. He's like and he's just like massacring people. And he strides up across this chasm, and he's like, Patrick!
Yeah, well, I would say one thing: you can make an entrance. That's commendable.
You think?
How may I serve you?
That's what I like about you, Patrick. You think that you can give me permission. The audacity. I love it. And he strides up across this chasm and just wades into the magma. It goes up to his waist, and he's like, I know what you seek, Patrick. You want freedom and power.
Well, yes, to extent, I would say.
Those are my speciality. And he gestures around him at this world that's being destroyed.
Could be, yes, of course. But for example, if you say you're free, how about listen, how about you save a drowning kitty cat? Can you do it?
Someone who is free, who is truly free, is not bound by such inane concerns. Do you really wish to save a cat and waste your power and time doing so, or is there something else in you that wants more? Could you stop at just a cat when you can have entire worlds? Entire existences?
But if I have everything, there's nothing to gain then.
That's true. But know this. You'll never escape this. And he motions out over the endless plains of warfare and strife and destruction and everything that's going on. He's like, my power, it's greater than the other lords. Even if they don't want to admit it. Even if they think that I'm some kind of ogre. Even if they think that I am not as scheming as they are. One doesn't need schemes when you can devour worlds. Violence is in the heart of everything that thinks and yearns. It's at the end of it all. You'll always want more, even when you've set flame to the last world and the last mote of grain upon it.
Yeah, but then how you gonna get more?
I'll tell you a secret. There's always more. And he turns around the magma and starts wading back, laughing joyously at the slaughter that he's about to cause. And he looks back and he's like, I am the Prince of Ruin. Join me, Patrick. You could have worse masters. I have no interest in what my servants do as long as they do what they desire. And if you join me and give me the egg, I will give you weapons that will crush all of your enemies. I will give you the locations of every lost treasure in every ruined city upon which I have cast into dust. And you will become a great general of chaos.
Well, that seems tempting, but it just, I don't know, just too easy, I get you an egg and you give me everything.
The eyes of chaos are cast wide, and our strength is endless. Be careful who becomes your foes, Patrick. And he goes back and just starts slaughtering people. And then a moment of just looking pensively aside and going back, you have your rune back instead of it being just half destroyed and over the edge of a cliff looking over into a world being destroyed.
Yeah, and just Patrick thinks, I don't know, just they can get those, why is it always either you are one of the biggest assholes or you are one of the saintest person. Why can't you be in the middle somewhere? Anyway, he kind of decided already who's gonna. He says
nice.
Yeah.
And then lastly, Frake. Frake. Someone. I think what would happen with this is how does Frake like go to bed? Like what's Frake's bedtime routine look like?
Frank's bedtime routine is just to once he got in, saw that it was a comfortable hobbit home, he just undressed, got in his blanket, and said, "Well, there's always more calamari tomorrow," and he just goes straight to bed, knowing that all this would disappear in the morning. Might as well take what comfort you can.
Yeah. How is Frake feeling? What is he? Does he just like climb into the hobbit bed and pull the covers up to his head and try to turn over? And what does he feel like?
Feels bloated from all the squid he ate. But
Okay.
in other terms, you might as well get what sleep he can and what looks like a comfortable bed while he can. He doesn't know what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, Frake's tummy hurts, and you try to like keep your mind off of it because like you're like, well, whatever comes tomorrow, it's coming, and at least I can get some rest. And you try to relax, and you hear a gentle voice singing a lullaby from when you were a child, like maybe what your hobbit grandmother probably would have sang to you. And it soothes your tummy.
Greg smiles and he says, is Grandmama here? Is she at the door?
And then like this face appears, like you hear your grandmother's voice singing this, and your tummy's soothed, and like you see this face like appear over top of your bed as it's singing to you, and it's a woman, a humanoid woman. Its dimensions are not natural, somewhat more elongated than any elf or man or anything. And she looks like a human woman that has been dead for a couple of weeks, and her flesh is rotting and maggots are coming out of the holes in her flesh and stuff. And her fingernails are these long claws, but she's like gently soothing your tummy and singing to you, and like, it's okay, Frake. It's okay. Rest, Frake. And you can see that there's like this bruising and tearing around the skin of her neck, and just below it, loosely draped, is a hanging rope, a noose.
Up to her and half-wet smiles as he knows this thing is soothing his stomach. He's like, nothing is okay. We're in a court full of gods, and we have to come up with some decision, and we're all still divided. How will we ever make it out of here alive?
It's true. You are in peril, Frake. I believe in you. I believe that you can make it out of here. I think that your friends have come under the sway of various powers in the cosmos. I know that you all want to stay together. I know that this has been a family that you haven't had in a long time. Your family was burned under the power of the champion of chaos that you slew. Back in your village.
I know. And if they're all being dealt all these false rewards, I just want all of us to get out of here in one piece. No more, no less. What can I do? What hope can I bring the others to keep us united.
She just listens empathetically as maggots like tumble out of her eye socket, and then she's like, I can try to help you. I am sometimes thought the less of all of the Chaos Lords, but I serve an important function in the court. And I would like to help you. I am concerned if the other Lords of Chaos get the yoke. They are not moderate in their desires to bring decay, which brings new life into the world. The truth is that chaos can be a slow process, a patient one. It can be life and growth.
I can understand that. When the fire burns the forest, new life springs out, more vibrant, richer than it once was.
It's true.
But so, how could you help us?
If you can provide me the egg instead, the little brave halfling. The truth is, I think that all of your companions are already set against one another. If we are to try to save them and keep them from devouring each other and fighting, I think that we will need to get you away from the court and its interests. And so, I will openly declare my war against the court. That will bring the attention away from you and your companions, at least for the major lords, if not many others in the court. And it will allow you to escape. It will then be up to you to repair the damage that has happened and bring life anew among your companions.
Well, my only other concern then, why would you do this for just a few mortals? Why would you openly wage war against your compatriots here? You all being chaos.
The Lords of Chaos struggle against one another as much as we do the Lords of Law. Such has it been for eons. But I am patient and long-lasting in the seeds of chaos that I spread that bring about life and beauty and magic in the world. It will take time, something that my companions do not understand. And that is what I'm interested in. That life can flourish, and ideas and beauty, and that it can die and decay, entropy, which is beauty itself. That is the source of all life. It is the only real truth, entropy. That is my purpose here. And if someone gains the egg now, entropy will be destroyed. And so for a great many eons, I will hold the egg.
Oh.
You may not know this,
Well?
Frake, but the ultimate fate of the universe is chaos. The powers of law will not prevail. The universe will die and decay, finally becoming nothing.
What if we can't get our hands on this yoke to begin with? Just more will come and try to seize it anyways. We make the same deal to the next group, and the next group after that, until you finally get your hands on this yoke of power.
Yes. There are others that could perhaps get the egg, but have faith, Frake. For everything that your group has been through, they are a source of great chaos in the world, you mortals. You bring about death and destruction and decay everywhere that you walk. It is beautiful. And I
Right,
believe
then.
you will do that now.
Well, if you can just get me and my friends out of here and back to our ship safely, you have yourself a deal.
That, and I will try to avert the attention of the greater lords. Though I must warn you, there are a great many spirits in this multiverse, and many of them have already become interested in you. Just bring me the egg, Frake, and be willing to do what it takes. You may have to oppose your companions. They already seek to destroy you.
Drake nods as he continues to think upon this proposition.
And then, like the lullaby that starts again that your grandmother sings, she sings it, and then she just slowly begins to just rot and decay into a pile on the floor, and it turns into like a sludge, and then it shimmers off into the edge of the room and slides into a corner of the room into a hole.
Drake stays awake for a few moments longer, watching as the sludge shimmers away, and then he lays back down and goes back to sleep.
All right.
Alright.
Everyone sleeps or does not sleep, either way, and you eventually the like if you come out, there's food still on the table the next day, whatever you could imagine that you would want for breakfast, like whatever your heart desires. And what do you all say to each other? That's the first thing. You have some moments like breakfast when you wake up the next day.
Drake walks out stretched and says, "Good morning, everybody. Might as well enjoy breakfast while we can. We'll see what these gods bring out."
Yeah, and Rufus actually has his sack open, and he's just shoveling food into a bag, like whatever. Like, are you going to eat that? And then he'll throw it in the bag. So basically, he's got like a Santa sack, if you will, of food. He's somewhat indiscriminate though. Like stuff that's perishable is in there, as well as anything that may be smoked or dried or cured. He's like, we should probably have some provisions, and we don't want to be stuck on our boat like we were last time. Not enough food and too much octopus, if you know what I mean. Ha ha ha. He gives a knowing glance to Iulius and just sort of nods. Like not going to say anything about the whole secret spy. Lexalia, all of that, and just says, "Yeah, great sleep. It's been a while." So he's definitely doing the just not going to mention anything about the Lords of Light or that's Thundar, but you guys know what I mean.
All right.
Hans is he's got a cup of coffee and he's pouring like vodka into it, and he's like, "You slept well, huh? I'm envious of that."
Indeed, Hans, I did sleep well. Oh, now just for a bit of tea and maybe a little muffin, and I think we should probably be on our way. Don't you, men? Don't you lads think?
Yeah, well, Priest, you actually have a point. Let's bring maybe we'll just gather some food and bring it with us. We don't know what's gonna happen in our quest for that egg.
Yeah.
We should get ready for sure.
Good idea. And he'll even, he'll look around for, are there any other bags or napkins or anything else, like any other containers we can bring? And, Patrick, you start filling yours and I'll look around. And so I don't know if there are cupboards or closets, but he's looking around, for maybe a big tablecloth. He can bundle everything up and tie it off.
All right. You have bags and bags of food and stuff, and you separate it out and different things and make it to where, you can have good food for the journey. Eventually, this person enters again. This fellow here. Oops. This young man. And he's got the big toothy grin and freckles and everything, and he comes back into the room. And he says, "My lords and ladies," and he sees like you're not sure who he's talking to, but he says that nonetheless, and he says. If you are ready, I can conduct you to your audience to our great masters.
No, we are ready. Yes.
Oh yeah, no, we're lead on.
All
Yeah.
right.
Certainly ready to leave.
It's not far. And they bring you back to that court again, with like these winds of tormented souls whipping around you. You find that you have to speak very loudly to be heard. What is happening to my... Give me a second here. I have to log out. Yeah. And he comes out, and these things are seated up above you, and this one right here, this like mutated, diseased one, as soon as you enter, raises like a three-fingered, like deranged hand, and is like, "What is your answer?" and points to you all.
And I'm gonna just push Hans, like.
Yeah, right. I'm Hans had the most votes, and so obviously he's our speaker.
Yeah, I gotta push him like speaker.
Hans steps forward. It looks like he didn't get much sleep last night. But he puts on the best face he can, straightens himself up, and he says, "Chaos Lords and ladies, we do accept the charge to go and find this yolkless egg."
And the deranged mutated one is like, "Very well." And then like these servants come out. Most of them are kind of mutated themselves and deranged and kind of gibbering to themselves and stuff, but they're in rags and barefoot, and they look like they've been beat up and stuff. These are the slaves of chaos, and among them is the woman, Lixalia, who is not mutated but does look like she's been beat up. Is dressed the same, and they are carrying dark obsidian weapons of such blackness that they offer no reflection or shadow, and you cannot even see the corners of the weapons and where reality ends and the weapons begin. And they come out and they surround you, and the slaves get down on their knees and they hold the weapons up to each of you. And there are weapons of just about every kind you can imagine. You can pick a weapon. And this one, this being, snorts, and its tentacle hands come out of its face, and it's like, "Mortal weapons will not aid you in the plane of law. Mortal forged weapons will be useless." These are chaos weapons, and they can slay our foes, any that you encounter upon the plane.
Well, that certainly is interesting. And Patrick is gonna say, I wonder for how much I can sell them.
Does anyone not pick up a weapon? What happened to Discord? This freaking thing, I swear.
There
I'm
he
having a problem.
is.
Discord just shut
I don't.
down.
I mean, I don't know how Julius feels about this, but Ed Rufus is strongly disinclined to pick up these weapons, handle them, let alone even use them against a lawful creature.
Sure. Does anyone pick up one of the weapons?
ULS
Yeah.
presents his holy symbol again and mutters a prayer of detection, trying to ascertain if the weapons themselves are inherently evil, or is it just that it's being given to us by chaos.
These are weapons of great evil and power. They are weapons of pure primordial chaos that upon touching agents of law can usually obliterate them. However, you, a mortal, can handle them, and they are not cursed, and you will not be bound to them. But the lords of law will not be very happy with you using them, of course.
Yeah. ULS sort of graciously declines. He says to them, I appreciate it is a gift to achieve your aims, but I will not sully myself with these things of chaos.
And Rufus will be slightly more direct. He'll say, that's a hard no for me. I'm not touching those things.
The eyeball like shimmers and vibrates and laughs and like dances the chicken feet a little bit in place as it sits, and it leans over and looks at the two clerics and is like, I wonder how long they can maintain the illusion that they serve law. And then sits back down. Who picks up a weapon?
Oh, Patrick. Sorry.
I would say, seeing as how Hans only has a dagger, he's not going to turn down a chance to, hopefully be a bit better armed. So he's going to reach out and take up a long sword and grip it, and
it is perfectly balanced, but in your hand it looks like abyss and shadow made manifest. Like looking into it, you see nothingness, almost like it's hard to even see its edges because it doesn't reflect light. Or
does it come with a scabbard?
You could use a regular. Yeah, sure. It comes with what are those things called? A bal. I can't think of what they're called. Baldric. Anyways, whoever picks up a weapon, you can pick any from the list in Dungeon Crawl Classics. Any weapon, any of the basic martial weapons of your choice.
Oh, Patrick is definitely gonna pick up. And he's gonna be thinking to himself like, I wonder how much can I earn money for that if I sell it. I gonna pick up like maybe if it's possible the spear. If it has a spear.
You have a spear of chaos.
No.
What about
Rufus is like literally each one of you guys is handling these things. He's getting more and more agitated. Like this is really bad. Just shaking his head, just disbelief.
What about Frank?
The servants, are they handling the weapons themselves, or they've got them on like trays or cushions or something?
They themselves are the trays. They're holding it up for your inspection.
So is Vexalia's, is she touching it with skin, or is she taking pains to avoid? So she's touching it without any repercussion.
Yep. She has persisted on the plane of chaos for aeons in her duty.
Yeah, Frake's like, our clerics may not be touching these weapons, but I'm definitely getting one. It's better than this staff.
All right, you can pick any weapon. Meanwhile, at Rufus, the bags of food, you can feel it shifting and moving around. And it's almost like bucking and writhing, whatever's in the bags.
He'll just kind of take the bag, do a little swing, and then just sort of smash it on the ground, to see whatever is moving in there. Consider it like a bag of ice where it's all fused, and then he just does one of those, sort of a smash.
There's this wet, crunching splash as like tons of pests and insects and snakes and things explode from the bag.
He hurls the bag away from all of them.
And there's these voices that are coming tinnily from all these insects and bugs and snakes, like, what existence is this? Am I dead? What happened? And as you get the impression that mortals have been doomed to this fate as they all scurry to the edge of the platform and fall off into nothingness forever.
And Rufus refuses to contemplate what they've been eating over the last 12 hours and just shuts that off in his memory mansion somewhere way down deep in a cellar, just pushes it all the way down.
Yeah.
What is the
what happened?
substance of chaos? Yes.
Yeah, what happened in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas.
Okay. And then finally, the woman that looks like a cadaver. She speaks and she says, "The time has come for your departure. Know this, champions of chaos. In order to return and escape the plane of law and their justice, you will find there a single flower. That single flower, a thing of beauty growing there, is a tiny fragment of chaos. When it is plucked, you will come to us instantly."
How will we know? What does it look like?
There will be only one that is so beautiful. A flower of yet yellow petals. And then lastly, let's see, the decaying one speaks again, and he says, "Return to us with the egg, and you will receive your reward. The cost of failure to this court is high." And he uses his little his hand to motion around him to the screaming torrents of souls.
Get the egg, find the flower, come back. Easy enough, right, guys? He looks around.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
And just like that, let's see here. No, I don't want that. Maybe
I don't want that either.
something like. It's not it. But this is close enough. You see the maddening vista of the Court of Chaos vanish in a cloud of ebon smoke, reeking of pungent odor of decay and also something sensual. The vapor clears abruptly, leaving you standing on a hill of emerald glass beneath a shining sun. And that is where we'll end today.